Hey everyone, it's Katie Spaniak with eXp Realty, and I am here on behalf of NASBAR, the association, with Beth Repta, who is, we are co-chairs for the membership committee for NASBAR. And we are super excited today because we are doing our first roundtable discussion. I'm very excited to have everybody here. So why don't we go ahead and just have everybody kind of introduce themselves and a little bit about yourself and who you are. And we are just going to have a really great conversation today. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. So, hey, Beth, you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Beth Repta. I am the founder of Repta Residential with Keller Williams. I've been selling real estate since 2006. I think this is, if I do the math right, I think that's about 15 magical years in real estate. And we represent, we service the north and northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Awesome, cool. Leslie.
Hi, I'm Leslie McDonald. I'm the team leader for a team of 10. I've been in the business way longer than the rest of you, probably 36 years, and I'm still going strong. I cover the Lake County area and North Lake County and Southern Cook.
Awesome, cool. Missy.
Hi there, my name's Missy Jerfita, and I'm head of the Jerfita team. I've been doing this for about 17 years. And Leslie, congratulations. I don't know if I could make it to 34. Amazing. No, amazing.
Let's just say.
Yeah, so we focus mainly on the North Shore, a lot of Glenview, Northbrook, Wilmette, Winnetka area. So love what I do.
Very cool. All right, Joey.
I'm Joey Galt with At Properties, and we have 19 members on our team. My partner Beth Wexler and I started working together 20 years ago, and started in the city and are now up north, really working on the North Shore. And we have team members doing the northwest suburbs, doing the city. So we're kind of all over the place.
19 members on your team. That's a lot.
Wow.
That sounds difficult. So Missy, I see you nodding your head over there because, yeah, we've talked about this before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really good for you.
Oh,
Awesome.
good for you. Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, Emily.
Hey, hi. I'm Emily Fair, co-founder of the Fair Hinton Real Estate Group out of Chicago and Milwaukee. So currently, if you can see that bus, that was a Milwaukee bus that just went past. So I'm north right now. I'm sometimes in Chicago. You can catch me somewhere in between. But basically, we cover the north side of Milwaukee all the way to the south side of Chicago. So we have spread probably now 120 miles. So we're super excited. There's 12 on our team. I thought 12 was a lot, but 19 is like, whoa. So yeah, we got you covered in 2 states. Very exciting.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. And I just didn't say I'm on the North Shore of Chicago. I live in Northbrook and focused on Northbrook mainly. We have a pretty small team, just 3 buyers agents right now. Okay, so Beth, you jump into and help me with this one. I just want to start with kind of what do you guys, we just are going to have a super casual conversation. Anybody who wants to talk can jump in, okay? So I just want to hear from you guys. What do you think? I mean, how do you feel about the market right now? What do you think it's going to do? So right now we're in end of June. So where do we think the market's going to be in 6 months and a year? What are you guys feeling? What are you seeing? Anything? Whoever wants to start.
I'll start. I think that we're already seeing a very minor shift back. Things have just gotten a little quieter, I think, over the last 30 days. And I think next spring, we're going to have all the holdouts from this year that should have done it. And I think we're going to have a surplus of inventory. I mean, I don't think it's going to crash, but I do think that people that are thinking it's going to slide backwards are going to start panicking and more people put their house on the market coming in the spring. That's what I believe. I think we're not going to see a lack of inventory in spring of next year.
I would agree. Yeah, go ahead, Beth.
I 100% agree. You can feel the showings have slowed down significantly, even in the past 30 to 60 days. I tell a lot of my clients, I guess, from my perspective, I'm changing the dialogue in my head, because for so many months, I was just like, you're going to get multiple offers. We're going to sell you this weekend. It's going to be this circus. And I'm having to tell myself, you can't paint the picture of that circus anymore. Market's still good. We're not getting maybe 5 offers, maybe we're getting one good offer. And that's okay. You know, that's just fine. So I agree with you, Leslie. I think that's where things are certainly headed. Definitely slowing down a little bit.
Do you feel like do you guys feel like the media is a little behind on this, or do you feel like, because right now I'm getting people saying, hey, I should list my house. And I'm like, yes, I was screaming that 3 months ago. You know, I feel like, Leslie, exactly what you said. I feel sort of like it's a little slower on the showings. So I feel like we are ahead of where people are maybe knowing, they think the market's really crazy right now still. Are you guys getting that? Are you feeling that?
The sellers do, and I think a lot of the realtors are perpetuating this frenzy, which really does not work well for everybody, because if people think there's this frenzy, they don't really think they need us. So I see all these people posting on Facebook constantly, oh, the market's hot, hurry up, you know, and we're really not doing ourselves a service by doing that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Joey, what do you
Makes
think?
conversations harder to have with your sellers too. I mean, when realistically, maybe they do need an adjustment and they still think that, oh, I heard on the media. I mean, the media can speak across the United States. Yes, across the United States, we're still in a pretty good spot, but they're not speaking hyper local. We're all servicing hyper local markets.
Right.
Right. What do you guys think, Joey?
No, I feel the same way in terms of what Leslie was saying, where we've had to shift our conversations where, you know, it was so crazy for so long. And we were, you know, we would just say, we're going to just collect offers this weekend. This past weekend, we actually did. We had 2 listings and both of them had multiple offers. And I have a client who made an offer on something where there were 5 offers. So, you know,
Wisconsin or Chicago? Just curious.
on North Shore.
Oh, you're North Shore. Sorry, I got that wrong.
So it's interesting. It's just, there's really no rhyme or reason. You know, we have some listings that we thought would go in multiple offers right away and they haven't, but you know, it's just definitely funky.
Yes. Emily, what do you think? Because you've got a really broad spectrum of where.
Yeah, this is like the hardest question to answer because Beth, you said it best. Like it's so micro market, right? And since I spread myself over such a wide, like just a vast area, it's really hard to answer this question like with a blanket statement. But Katie, your question was, do you think the media is behind? And I think data is always behind. So the media can't be ahead, right? And we can't even really be ahead. We can make some predictions about what's going to happen, but like we'll never be right, right? We'll always just hope to be right. Like, okay, we've got some leading indicators like, you know, numbers of contracts and houses going on the market and things like that, but we just will never get it exactly right. But I think in Chicago land, for sure, market is definitely shifting and it's no longer this crazy seller's market. In Milwaukee and Southeast Wisconsin, it's still absolutely, without a doubt, 100% a seller's market. So I can't wait for these 2 to flip-flop because it's been like excruciating up here in Milwaukee and it's been gravy in Chicago for a while. So I want to see the switch or just in equilibrium would be awesome. But they're performing very differently right now, very differently.
For sure. Missy, how are you feeling about all this right now?
I feel we're all on the same page. I feel like it was so fast and furious for so long. And I would say the last couple weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks have been a little bit calmer and slower. And I think maybe it's because COVID is opened and the families want to go on vacation or go to the beach and get out. And maybe they put their house, since they were looking and they lost it and the prices have gone up so much, maybe they've kind of put that on the back burner. I'm thinking maybe it'll be slow until kids go to school and then it'll pick up again. I'm not sure, but I think the housing will continue to be robust through, I don't know, another year, 2022. There is a little bit of shortage of inventory, I think, but I don't see the dual offers coming and going way over list. I had 2 offers this week and both offers did not come close to list. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So you think, do you guys think that compare, like I was saying that compared to not last year was a little unique, but the year before I felt June was slow compared to 2 years ago, June. That's sort of how I felt. But what do you guys think for next year? I mean, Leslie, you sort of alluded to it. You think there's going to be a lot more inventory. Missy, you don't think maybe as much?
Well, I think, oh, definitely. I agree with Leslie. Definitely more inventory for sure. But I think we're still going to have, it's not going to be as crazy as, I don't know if we'll ever go back to this crazy in the last couple of months, but I think still because our lives have changed, and I think housing has changed because maybe people are working part of the time at home and they value their home space and their outdoor space. I do think housing will continue to be important through next year. I definitely agree with Leslie. There's going to be more inventory.
Yeah. So let me kind of ask you guys, how much do you work? Like, how much do you work? Do you have hours that you work? Do you have days you work? Do you have days you're off? How do you manage your work-life balance?
I used to work a lot more. I'll tell you
Tell us.
that.
Tell us.
I used to work a lot more. And once I got the right talented people around me, it has opened up my life substantially, especially with 2 young kids. I was at my peak working, peak hours, when my kids were maybe 3 and 5, and I was working 70, 80 hours a week. I didn't have a team. I was alone. And I really struggled during that time. I was missing full on sports seasons because I was never around on the weekends. And my husband, this is kind of very interesting. My husband created our social life out here because I was never around. And so he made a lot of friends out in our town because we had moved out and our kids were young and in school. So he started making our friends by going to kids' birthday parties. And so things just changed. I knew I wanted to get a team so I could have some of that life back. And so just getting that talented group of people around me, just starting one at a time and finding those right people and building from there. We're real slow and steady. We only have a team of 5. So it's been very slow and very steady. But it has given me a life back. I don't work near the hours. I attend most every game the kids have now, all of their special, things that they have going on at school and in their lives. So just that's how I've managed to balance out my life a little bit. Otherwise, this business can be all consuming. And people have zero limits when it comes to selling their house or buying their house. There are no limits. So it's up to you to put those limits on. And I've just over time been able to gain more control over that.
Do you have hours you work and hours you don't work?
Not really. It just comes in waves. And I'm sure a lot of the ladies will agree. This is a lifestyle you lead. This is just a lifestyle. I go on vacation. I get up early before my family. I do my work, and I might have to take a call or 2 while I'm out, bopping around. But I can manage that, and they are fine with that. And that's a comfort level that you also grow into over time, knowing what you can and cannot do. But I just work around it. So to me, it's just kind of a lifestyle.
So,
but no, not designated hours. I don't work late, and I don't work weekends anymore.
That's awesome. Leslie, how have you done it for this long? I think the rest of us are like,
yeah. I can tell you that, I started in 86, I think it was. Yeah. So 86. And, I worked from 86 to 2004 by myself with one admin. And my last year I did like 168 transactions by myself. To this day, I don't even know how I did it without killing myself. But anyway, I realized that, while I was doing all this production, I do some speaking, and I was just talking to this group in Dallas, and I said, I had my son out on a boat. Anyway, fast forward the story, he's like, let's go. He wanted to go tubing. And I'm like, no, wait. Everybody's done this, right? We all do it. Shh, don't. And it was a turning point for me. I'm like, this has to change. So I turned my admin at that time into a buyer agent, who a lot of you know, Joan Meredith. She's been with me for 30 years. I have my main manager here. She's been here for 20. I mean, pretty much I have no turnover in my team, none. No drama, no turnover. So when I hire, I look at the disc profile. I literally only see personalities for workers in the office. I know if you don't know what that is, but anyway, the point being, I work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right now. If somebody calls and they say, I have a lake house right over the border that if I could stay there every minute of my life, I would. But I have grandkids here, 7 of them, so I like to be at their stuff too. But like tomorrow, I'm not working because I'm taking my granddaughters to the aquarium, and if someone wants to list their house tomorrow, I'm not doing it. It's just because, I think we all have a tendency to like, there's that balance of, gosh, I really want this. Do I need to send somebody else? If maybe they're not going to get it. Maybe I'm the one that needs to go. But at the end of the day, I really just work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday night, I go to the lake and I come back Monday afternoon, and everything else gets sent out to somebody else. And it's worked really well. But trust me, I paid my dues. I gave up a lot, just like everybody else. My focus is just hiring the right people. And I have a ton of longevity in here. Beth's come to the office before and seen we have an absolute systemized machine going in here. I mean, somebody could leave me tomorrow and they can sit down in someone's desk, push in their initials, and it'll show them exactly what they need to do. Even if they've never worked there for a minute.
Okay, that's awesome. How many of you have that system going?
It's crazy impressive. I can
That's
attest.
amazing.
That is amazing.
And let me tell you, it is what you don't realize, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's mentally freeing because you can always know every person in my database has a plan attached to them. Everybody.
Can we ask what system you use?
I don't even want to tell you because I don't want anybody. It's no longer. I'm in the transition phase. I was using Online Agent 2000, which is no more. So what I'm going to migrate to is Exact, IXACT, which is basically very similar. It's kind of like, Top Producer to me is like a total overkill. It does, most people can't even fathom all the things it does. So Exact is simpler. So I just use the plans and the categories, and somebody comes in off it. I can type in right now every person that I need to call, and I will call somebody I sold a house to 15 years ago and just leave them a message. And I mean, Beth, you've seen it. She's come in here before and just seen like how we do this. And it really helps everybody keep their heads screwed on, right? Otherwise you could just, I was looking for earnest money checks in the garbage can for years in a total state of panic. Like, where's the
You've never been there.
Oh my.
looking under the desk?
Never.
Where's this money? Anyway. So,
Never.
yeah, I like longevity. And I think if you have a team, you just got to hire right. And then you have half the headaches, a third of them really.
That's awesome. Who else wants to add to this one? How are your days, your weeks, your life? How's your life?
I'd love to hear Joey's perspective too. I mean, that's a big team you guys are running for sure.
So Katie and I always talk about this because, I'm always like enamored by your schedule.
And then I'm like, Joey, I think so. Joey, when Joey and our team were in the in the Agent magazine, North Shore Real Producers, I think I texted you and I was like, looking at your team is giving me like,
I know,
anxiety with all these people in this picture. I was like, it's just so hard to manage so many people, right?
I know. Well, we're it's always evolving. We're always figuring it out.
But you do it. I mean, you do a killer job.
So much of our team is parallel. So it's not like they're all working on the same transactions as we are. I mean, we're mentoring them. We're helping them with the systems that we use that we've developed and helping them to grow their business. But it's not like I talk to every single person every single day by any means. Especially like our city agents, we're happy to, be able to refer them. They can call us for, any questions or anything, but our businesses are totally separate. And then we're just figuring out right now kind of what we love to do and where we, should take a step back and let somebody else do. Because, at the end of the day, like for Beth and I, we've been partners for 20 years. We are polar opposite. And I mean, she is the ultimate salesperson.
Do you use a database? I'm just curious, or like.
Yes.
You use.
We use our internal, the app properties database.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
So how about your hours, days, times? Are you putting limits on it? What are you doing?
No, there's really no limits. We work all day, every day. There are no days off. We're trying to implement that as of now, where we're trying to figure out and schedule on our calendar days off. Trying to, our business is different though too. you know, like we show a lot of our listings, and, you know, I know that you and I have had many conversations about that as well, but it's our business model. And, you know, we're going to start adding a listing manager onto each of our listings so that it's not just, you know, us showing our listings like that. We have an amazing team and really great people that are, you know, just as qualified as we are. It's just a matter of, you know, just implementing it, telling our clients, this is how, you know, things work. And that's the biggest piece for me right now, is just being out there showing nonstop. I think that, you know, just, I think once we figure that piece out, I will work less.
That's awesome. I know you will. You guys kill it all the time. Emily, let me ask you, because you are, I'm going to say newer in the business. What, 5 years?
12 years. So
Um,
12.
Oh,
12.
12.
Up on 13. Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll say newer. Sure.
Okay. You're newer. You're younger. So we'll take
No.
that too.
Not
So,
much, but okay.
so tell us what it's like for you having this big, I mean, you're in Wisconsin today, you said, right?
Yes. Today I'm in Whitefish Bay, just north of Milwaukee.
So what's your work-life balance like?
Well, so I raised my hand about a year ago and said, I think there's a gap between Chicago and Milwaukee, and I will fill it. So I volunteered myself and my team to bridge this gap. And with that came the commitment to basically driving myself crazy for a year. Now that it's been a year, we hit our 1-year anniversary, it has got to stop. So the back and forth has got to stop. So the focus right now for our team is building leverage in Milwaukee. We have excellent leverage in Chicago. We've nailed it. In Milwaukee, we do not have leverage. So that's the next step. So right now, I would say my work-life balance is almost nothing, but it was the commitment that I made for 1 year. I said, I'll do it for 1 year. I'll get the business up and running, and we've arrived. We are up and running, and now we need help. So it's going to come in the form of probably a showing agent. That's the number one need, is that body out in the field. We still run all of our deals through our admin in Chicago, which is great, even though the contracts and the deals are completely different. There's no attorney review, et cetera. But we still can run our deals out of our hub in Chicago. So transaction management will stay there, but we just need, it's like, what I've learned is like the physical bodies in the field is the number one thing, because I don't mind working with my brain, like talking to people, thinking about things, having strategic conversations. What I do mind is showings and open houses and inspections. Like I'm done with that. I've been done with
working on the business, not in it.
Correct.
Right, exactly.
Right. So when I think about me working a lot, if I'm doing it in my pajamas, like I'm cool. It's fine. If I have to put an outfit on, it's less cool.
I feel the same exact way you feel. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I've got to leave the house. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Totally feel the same way. I get it. Get you.
Yeah.
I do.
But
like,
I put it on for you guys.
I love what you just said. There are going to be these phases in your career where you're kind of like, all right, I admittedly right now, I'm kind of smooth sailing. I enjoy my life. I have worked less than I ever have in the 15 years I've been in this business, but there comes a point where I know that there are going to be some challenges that we're going to face as we grow. And I know, and like, I'm mentally gearing up for the fact that like more hours are going to come, because you're going to want to do more, and you want more, and you've got the talent and a good pool around you to get there. And so like, I like hearing you say that. It's like very open and honest that, you know, right now you're in the thick of it because you're growing a second major metro market that is smoking hot right now. Like that's a huge undertaking. So yeah, you're going to be working more hours. And I think you've just inspired me. I feel like I've kind of grown a little lazy lately. I'm ready for a challenge, but that's cool. But I got to mentally prepare. Like you're going to start working more again, and you got to get mentally right and ready for that.
Right. Absolutely. Missy, let's ask you, how are you handling it? What are you doing?
I would say I've come a long way. I feel like I do have a bit of work-life balance, and I will work as late as I need to Monday through Friday to get to my lake house Saturday and Sunday. So I'm not as far as Leslie,
You're
that's
getting,
my goal, but I'm pretty good. But I think the key thing is having the right people. And I do believe in the disc, having the right people in the right position, because if it's not, and I've had a lot of wrong people, it just makes more work for you. So my team is five people on my team. I have 3 licensed agents and 2 admin. I focus on listings, and then they have 2 agents who focus on my buyers. And then I do have a listing agent who helps me with listings under.
That's good. That's very cool. What we do actually, and you guys probably, maybe not Emily would know, but I have some people who are stay-at-home moms, basically, who I will pay to accompany showings. But they've been with me for years, and they know me, they know the area, they know the town, they're super friendly, and they connect with people. But you know, when I'm talking to my sellers, Joey, I'll tell you what I say. When I'm talking to my sellers about this is I say, you know, buyers don't want me standing next to them in the house, especially me. I'm much more like, all right, come on, it's a bathroom, let's go. You know, so I'm not really good at like pointing out how wonderful the bathroom is. So what I say is, listen, the buyers get really worked up when the listing agent is standing over them. I said, when we accompany, I send somebody from my team who's very mild mannered, very sweet, nice, and just makes people feel comfortable. I said, so it's actually better because they can build rapport and relationships with these buyers, and they're not the listing agent. So I kind of phrase it a little bit, you know, different, just because those accompanied showings are tough across the board. I know for me, I don't like them.
And it really interrupts your day, and you really have a hard time getting anything done. Like Leslie said, working on your business, it's a huge disruption.
Agreed. So you know what I'm hearing here, and I want to ask everybody is that, so I kind of added it up. Last year, between the 6 of us, we sold probably over 300 million in real estate, maybe more, because I might have been a little low on a couple of people. That's a lot of real estate, right? In order for somebody to get where all of you are, do you have to have help? And if so, what kind of help? Because like people who are watching this, who are out there doing what we did early on in our career, you know, just everything, a transaction to showing, every single thing. Mm-hmm. Do they have to bring somebody on in order to get to the next level?
I think you for sure do. I think in the beginning, if you're just starting out, you have to be out there. You have to be like on the ground and be out there and get to know other agents, figure out the business, and, you know, either have an admin to do all of your paperwork if you're, you know, or have like a team member or teammate or someone in the office that can help you out, because you have to build your business before you can run it, you know, like you do, where, you know, you're not working the weekends or you're not working evenings. So I think that's, and it's also just figuring out what you like to do and getting somebody to do the things that you don't like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think you have to have a team. You have to have some people around you to get to that next level. But I've also seen the opposite, where people try to rush that too fast, and you get an agent that's doing maybe 15 to 20 deals a year. And I wouldn't say that on the North Shore, because that's probably sustainable, but where I'm northwest suburbs, you know, McHenry County, if you're doing 15 to 20 deals, it's just maybe not enough. And yet people are starting that team maybe a little early, like they're bringing on a buyer's agent. I'm like, well, you could do that all yourself. But to get to a higher level, I mean, I have to do a lot of transactions. I know Leslie does a lot of transactions, you know, to get to over 100 to 150 transactions a year. There's absolutely, and I think there's a method to it too. It's just once you hit a certain level, so you're doing like 30, 40 deals, then maybe it's time for you to bring in an assistant. And then once you're doing maybe 70, 60, 70, maybe it's time to bring on another one. Maybe once you get to like 80, 90, 100, maybe you bring on the buyer's agent. So it's kind of like a very, there's some method there, and there's a strategy there behind the people that you're hiring, the roles you're hiring for, and who you're looking for, and what phase you're in.
I actually have a chart that shows from the first day I started in real estate, each time I added a person, what happened to our production. It's
And what were those results? Like how many units were you increasing?
well,
Like on
I mean, the volume went from, obviously year one, 3 million to, the peak was 103, you know what I'm saying? But and now we're kind of leveling out at 70 or 80 or whatever. But the point is that, when I'm talking to people about building a team, I have like a whole presentation I could actually send you guys about who to hire, how to hire. Not that you guys probably know more than I do, but
I'll take whatever I can get for sure. So feel free to send it on over. I think you do pretty well, Leslie.
Well, each time I add a person, just kind of what goes on, and it's crazy. So I think my first person I added part-time at 3 million. I was doing, we're talking a long time ago, but that was a lot of it was 33 transactions, I think, at that time. You know what I mean? And it was just fascinating to see how, and then I went like totally stagnant for like, I don't know, 10 years. I'm like, okay. And then I started really implementing systems. And I'm telling you, the systems are the key. I don't care if you're a brand new agent, right? If you have a system in place, I mean, literally that's freeing in itself. And so in the beginning, I would just give people to someone in my office if I didn't want to hire somebody. And I just take a referral fee, just because I couldn't do it anymore. I was like maxed out, I had little kids, it was rough, but I feel like I've earned the right to do nothing, if you ask me.
Right.
It's really crazy how as you add people, I actually put it on paper one year and I used it a lot when I talk about team building and how to hire, who to hire, where to find them, where to put the ads, what have you. But it's just seeing that production change each time you put in a person is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys, the other three of you, what do you think? Can you do this alone?
Oh gosh, no.
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 Want to make any money?
No, right. If you want to go crazy or not make, yeah. If you want to go crazy or broke, sure. But I think it's Beth or Leslie, one of you guys said this, but it's not about just adding like help. It's about adding it in the right order. It's not even about the right roles. It's the right order of the right roles. And I think this is where most people newer in the business make the mistakes. I was on teams previous to the one I built that did it wrong. Like love them, but no. And it's about hiring in the right order at the right speed. It's about hiring the right people, like all of it. It just has to come together, which is why we are all more productive than other people, because we've done the right people in the right order at the right time and for the right pay, all the things, right? So it's not good enough to say, oh, I'm really, really busy. I think I need a buyer's agent, or I'm busy. I need an admin. It's like, well, but what kind of admin? Like, what is that? It's not an executive or a director of ops. It's a transaction coordinator. And that, like you just have to do it right. And I think that's where people just think help. Like Katie, you said, do you need help? Like, it's not about help. It's about the right order.
Do you feel like everybody has to make the mistakes in order to figure out what's right or who's right?
Have we all made mistakes? Have we all made mistakes with people that have been on the team or tried to be on the team? Were you the best leader at every point in this stretch? No.
That's exactly it. Being the best leader, and manage it the right way. And I can probably point to almost everybody who's been on my team is that it was a leadership problem because I wasn't giving the correct directions. Or Emily, like what you said, I was going too fast.
Yep.
And just trying to get it done, but then you make the mistakes. So you make the mistakes and then you understand. Does anybody, Leslie, it sounds like you did not make any mistakes.
No, I did so my first admin was Joan, who's still a buyer's agent on my team to this day and doesn't want to stop working. Now I'm giving her a lot of listings too. She just loves to work. I'm like, good for you, have fun. But my second person I hired was like someone that was a lot of fun, like me, like a high I personality, a lot of fun neighbor. And that was a huge mistake. And then because I tended to hire people that I liked, and I don't really have to like people to hire them.
That you connect with, people that are similar to your personality.
Right, but it's not necessarily the best hire.
Right.
What you have to do is hire around yourself. Whatever's wrong with you has to be right with who you hire. And that's what I've learned. And, I was 20 something years old, right? So I didn't even know what I was doing. But I just hired. I'm like, oh, you're fun. You're nice. You go out after work. This looks like a good person. So yes, but after I figured out at a very short period of time of who to hire and how, it really changed the dynamic. And my team, that we have like no drama, no disagreements. I'm not lying to you when I say that, like nothing. If there is, I don't know anything about it. Probably I'm the worst one of the bunch, to tell you the truth. But I mean, everybody just gets along and it's just good. And everybody helps each other out. Someone's daughter's getting married this week and everybody's like, well, don't worry, we'll take your buyers if you need help. And that's also the culture that I created. Like, if you come in here and stir the pot, goodbye, you're out of here in 5 minutes. Right, tell them when I hire. I don't want to deal with it.
Exactly. Does anybody else have a comment on that one? Just because
I would say one thing, anytime, I think for me, the assistant's the most important first hire. And a lot of times I've hired the wrong assistant because I felt like I was underwater, and whoever came in who I liked, just like Leslie and Katie said, I'm like, awesome, you're great. Like, I didn't even do it. I didn't even know what that was. I was just so glad I have a body. And then within like a week or two, I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. It's not going to work. And so I wasted all that time hiring wrong people after wrong people until someone introduced me to the disc. So that is something I learned over and over until I learned from my mistake. So for me, hiring a really solid assistant that was opposite than me, because that's not my strong point. Once I got that in place, then the buyer's agent came in, and then another buyer's agent. That's how I grew the team.
awesome. Cool. Anyone else on that topic? Let's take another few minutes just to kind of finish up.
You guys, I have a question, Katie. Do you guys all, now that we're getting back into the office, how do your teams work in terms of, are they at home? Are they in the office?
All at home. We have a team huddle at 9 a.m. every day. It's very consistent. It's the same conversation in the same order every day, 5 days a week. And we just do a free conferencecall.com. It lasts a half hour. If it goes more than, we used to do gratitude and all this stuff. And I said, you know what? We're done in a half hour. And it's every day it's the same. Transaction review. At what choke points do we have? What's going on with our listings, our contracts coming in? Where are our buyers at? What leads do we have to follow up on? Is there anything marketing that we have to do? We get through that in half hour and we're good to go. And then weekly we'll meet to have a team meeting, and then I have a quarterly meeting, which is more like planning, and that's it. So I gave up my rent, which wasn't expensive, but I didn't need to pay the little $600 that I was paying. I mean, that all adds up. So, so nope, we haven't met. We just don't meet in person.
We're all virtual. We were in person until the pandemic. And then sort of we're like, okay, well, Heather went to her house and she's in Waukegan. And then I have a transaction coordinator in Florida who I've never actually met. But she works full time, so yeah, we all now work out of our homes.
Katie, stop and think about that for a while, what you just said. Working virtually enables you to open up your talent pool to the nation and beyond. And I think that it's so powerful. The salaries, I mean, think about what you're going to pay someone in the Chicagoland area to someone that you pay in Georgia or Florida that could do the same job just as well.
Totally. And my transaction coordinator, I put an ad out. We use a group called WizeHire, WIZHIRE. They do automated disc profiles with the applications, which is awesome. But I put out the ad for the transaction coordinator. I said, I'm going to pay between $13 and $15 an hour. Don't even apply if that's not what you're looking for. I had 600 applications, 600. So that was like, for me, that was like just a huge thing where all of a sudden I was like, holy cow, this totally opened it up, allowed me to find the right person. Never met her. I don't know if I will. So
there's a cool real estate team out in Maryland or Baltimore, DC area that hires military wives. And they have pretty much all virtual help, that none of them are around, they're across the country. And I think it's such a cool it's a cool opportunity to leverage at a extremely high level, and perhaps even get just as talented of a pool for a lot less money than you'd have to spend here.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay. I have, unless anybody else has a question, I have one kind of last question for everyone. So what do you think the biggest mistake agents make, or what is your best piece of advice for agents? Like what is your like thing that you could tell somebody? Oh, Leslie's got something.
Oh no, somebody just threw something in my office. Sorry. They walked in my office not knowing I was on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
What's my best piece of advice? Is that what you just asked?
Yeah, or what do you think the biggest mistake is? Like if you could help somebody prevent what you did, like what would that
Not
be?
having systems, not running this like a business. The minute you don't have systems and you don't run it like a business, you're literally spinning your wheels over and over again every year, starting over with cold leads and not working the past client database like big time.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
We still, I mean, and we still don't even have awesome systems. We got good systems, but it's just such a work in
We
progress.
send handwritten notes to our clients every 3 months.
All of them?
Every single person. Like if you moved to Austin, Texas with me 15 years ago, I'm sending you a card, and we have different cards for, it's like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, but they're all addressed and put on my desk. And so I don't even have to look at the system. The weekend person I have does it. So when I come in on Monday, oh, here, I'll show you. Hold on. This is legit, folks.
Holy cow.
That's just this week. Handwritten notes.
Who would hire Leslie as their real estate agent?
I send everybody a Christmas ornament, even if they bought a house from me 10 years ago with their family name on it. I mean, I work these people to the bone and I get so much business from it, you know. And these are all the ones I've yet still have to write. So it's the systems, you know, if you're brand new in the business, you already have, even if you sold 12 houses, if you get one referral from those 12 people, you'll double your business next year, you know, right? So.
That was awesome. That was an awesome piece of advice. I love that.
At least you know I'm not, blowing smoke here.
No, I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, who else?
I have a really good one.
Okay.
And I was for years and years and years, and this is embarrassing, but it's true. I did not know my numbers. I did not know the profits of the organization. I didn't know my expenses. I didn't track anything. I wasn't in QuickBooks. I would have a call every year once I filed my taxes with my accountant, and he would tell me how much money I made for the year in profit. And then I drank a bottle of wine, and then I'd be like, all right, let's do it again. And it was miserable because there was all those hours that I worked. The profit was definitely not there to support that. It was embarrassing. And yet I was winning awards. I won a lot of awards and I got recognized. I was in magazines. Oh, baby. And yet, and once I got clear on those numbers and clear about the profit and then watch the profit grow, it was then when I started to feel comfortable about hiring, because I was unsure how I was going to afford to pay for a very talented assistant who was going to cost a decent amount in the talent pool that I was looking for. And then to bring on another one, and then to completely get rid of my buy. I'm taking a 50% split on my buy side. How was I going to do that? How was I going to give that up? And until you get real clear on the numbers and where it's coming from and your planning, and I'm talking, my numbers are pretty extensive now. We have, plans out for, 10 years and who we're hiring and the whole nine. The models are already built and they're out there and they're clear. But until you get clarity on that, it's really hard to even think about building on a team and paying people until you're really clear on that. And it really feels good now because I can watch that money. I've monitored it. I look at it all the time, maybe too much now, but I'll take that any day over not knowing and keeping a blind eye just because I didn't like accounting.
I think that's an awesome one. That's an awesome one. Does anybody else have anything? Good, bad?
I have one.
Go for it.
Okay, so I would say when I first started, this helped me that I decided to niche myself in an area because I felt like when I first started, I felt like I was kind of running everywhere, grabbing this, remember floor call? Oh my God, I sat floor, any type of leads. So what I just decided was I'm going to niche myself in an area and I'm going to know more about that area than anyone else. And I started marketing to that area in 3 different ways. And that's kind of how I grew. And then once I kind of captured that area, then I kind of grew. So that's, I think, really valuable for someone just starting, whether
It's really
you're
focused.
a tennis player, maybe niche yourself with the tennis people. So they associate that person to refer to homes, or if you're a dog lover or something to niche yourself.
That's awesome.
First
That's
start.
a great one. Really focus. Okay, last 2. Emily or Joey, what do you have?
Okay, I'll build off of what Beth said because she sort of stole my answer, but I'm going to add to it. So definitely know your numbers. And I'm same as you, Beth. I had no clue, but now I do, which is great. But furthermore, like you can call me cheap, whatever, but our expenses are so tight. Like we keep our expenses, so tight. We are very generous.
We'll
with
have to talk
salaries.
offline about this. I want to learn more.
Yeah,
about
we are
it.
generous with salaries for sure, but we are cheap and tight with everything else, and we do not spend on anything unnecessary or any like shiny objects. Shiny objects are just not for Fairhinton. That's just not what we do. And we've always like taken the approach of like profit first, profit. So Beth, you said like, oh, we're in magazines and all this stuff. And it's like, we look at these magazines and we go, yeah. You have higher volume, but are you as profitable? I bet not. And that's kind of always our like number one mission is to be the most profitable team in Chicago. That's our goal. Chicago. And
Love that.
I don't give awards out for that, Emily, but that's
I know,
okay.
I know. We'd win. We'd be winning. Beth, you and I would be winning for sure.
I don't know. I'm sure there's more profitable people in the world. Than me,
Well,
but
maybe. We'd at least
it-
we'd be in the game at this point, which years ago, like we just didn't have, we were spending and not knowing, right? And now it's really exciting to just see the volume go up and the expenses stay the same. It's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
On that, Emily,
Yeah.
how do you, hold on.
You're on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah.
Emily, so when you're trying to break into Milwaukee though, for instance, like
Yeah.
how do you not advertise and spend money?
Well, we do, but our advertising is through 2 ways. Number one, it's through our people, right? So that's free. Calling and texting and emailing and connecting with our own people is free. And I'll tell you what, we ran the numbers today, and in the last year, we've had 39 agent referrals from like passed back and forth between Chicago and Milwaukee. So I just went to all you guys and I said, hey, we're in Milwaukee, and all you guys referred us business. So that was number one, and that's free. And number two is that our lenders and our attorneys pay for a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So tens of thousands of dollars worth of marketing and advertising. So for example, we spend like, now Beth, they're going to kill me, like $6,000 a month in Zillow leads, but it's paid for by our lenders. So it's free lead generation, right? So we went those 2 routes, right? But the main source of our business is through our sphere. And our you guys, agents, not just our sphere, our clients, but each other is really, it's truly been amazing. But leverage us for sure.
I've seen so many. I've gotten super intentional on giving out referrals, and now that because so many people are leaving the state, right? How many Florida referrals have I given this year? And now I'm seeing that as an income stream.
Yes.
Where I was not being intentional with giving referrals. Somebody told me to move, they were going to move to Florida. I was like, okay. And now I'm like, it's a part of my presentation. I was like, I will connect you with the best of the best. I will interview them for you. I mean, I just gave $1 million referral out to someone, and I'm getting paid on it tomorrow. And so now I'm seeing that as another income stream. And then the sponsorship thing is also a very big deal, Emily. And we're starting to do that too, where we don't want to pay for anything anymore. We want to leverage that out too.
You guys you really shouldn't have to pay for client events. You shouldn't have to pay for closing gifts. You shouldn't have to pay for leads. You shouldn't have to pay for anything. Your lenders and your attorneys, they've got deep pockets and they're happy to spend, if you have the hard conversation, and ours have been spending for years.
Title too.
Yep. Title. Yep.
That's awesome.
Very
Joey,
deep title company.
Joey, give us yours.
I think the biggest, probably the most life-changing kind of thing that we've done was get on like this task management system, which I've told you about, like that. Any of them are great, but like we use Monday.com, but it's literally been,
What do you use? I'm sorry.
Monday.com.
Monday?
Monday.
Okay, I'll have to look at it. I'm always trying to improve, so.
And so
Right.
it just helps us so much. Just be able to stay on track and know everything that's going on and be super systematic. And, we're just, like I said, like it's always evolving and we're always, just trying to get to the next level and give up control and just make sure we, service everybody the right way. And I think that like the biggest piece of advice that I would give to anybody starting out would probably be just to, whether it's you or someone on your team, is just to over communicate and, always come at your business in a positive way. Like I remember, early on where I'd, freak out when the phone rang, like something like there was going to be an issue. And one day I just had like this aha moment where I was like, I do a great job, like I work my butt off. And then every time that I answer my phone, I'm like, confident and knowing that, we're doing the best that we can. And I think that, just communication is key.
Awesome. I love that. I would just add what mine was, actually Beth and Emily both talked about, is that if anybody watching, if you haven't read the book Profit First, it is I should have read this out of the gate, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on stuff I shouldn't have spent money on and didn't know how much to pay people. That book goes right to what you guys were saying.
Called Profit First?
Profit First.
Okay.
Love it. Changed my whole business structure when I read it. Now it just it's a very easy, simple way to manage your finances and know how much you should spend. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So this was awesome. This was the first NASBAR kind of roundtable discussion. What do you guys think?
I think it was great.
It was fun.
Great ideas. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing, everybody.
It was very cool. So I just want to thank Jen for at NASBAR for helping spur the idea. She's awesome. And Beth and I being on the membership committee has been great. And so anybody watching, we love to get people involved. If you want to get involved in NASBAR, feel free to reach out. You can be on a committee, you can whatever. We've got YPN events, things like that. And actually we have a couple of people here who are not members of NASBAR, and that is okay too. So we love talking to everybody, all the agents. Beth, you have any final comments for everyone?
No, this was absolutely amazing. I'm just honored and privileged to even talk amongst this group. Wow. Awesome.
I
Awesome,
agree.
awesome.
I agree. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this.
Thank
Great,
you.
powerful group of people.
Thank you.
with Ideas from.
Thank you.
I was included. Thank you.
Awesome. You guys rock. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks, Katie.
Bye.